This video is very important to watch as it describes changes to the upload process, all of your existing videos, and potentially your monetization.
If you're a content creator on this platform right now, I'm telling you right here that you have got to be nervous about what 2020 is bringing to your life and to your channel.
We're now required to ask you to mark all of your videos as made for kids or not. In addition to this setting, we'll use machine learning systems to help us find content that is clearly made for kids. Videos that you mark as made for kids will be treated differently on YouTube. Some features like comments will no longer be available. Most importantly, those videos won't show personalized ads, so some creators may see a decrease in revenue. If you mark a specific video as made for kids, features like comments, personalized advertising, info cards, end screens, and more won't be available on individual videos. Your channel also won't have stories, the community tab, the notification bell, and your viewers won't be able to save to watch later or save to playlist. Keep in mind that these restrictions are to follow the law. If you don't set your content appropriately, this may result in compliance issues for you under COPPA and other laws. And if we find that you're abusing our systems and intentionally marking your videos incorrectly, this may result in consequences for your channel or videos. Starting today, to comply with COPPA, the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, and other laws, these changes will go into effect. This means from now on, any content made for kids will have certain features limited or turned off to lessen data collection and use.
So it's officially been 1 year since YouTube's COPPA update, aka the biggest update in this website's history, which, as you just heard, makes creators have to label their videos as either made for kids or not made for kids. However, according to the FTC at the beginning of 2020, if we mislabeled the audience of our video, we could be fined up to $42,000. Once everyone heard this, basically everyone on YouTube started panicking because they were afraid that they were going to have to pay up to $42,000 for each COPPA mislabeling. However, they didn't consider certain factors like the fact that they could get fined up to $42,000 per violation, not $42,000 flat on every video, and that the FTC considers a number of factors in determining the appropriate amount, including a company's financial condition and the impact a penalty could have on its ability to stay in business, or in YouTube terms, you would get fined in proportion to how much your video made. So I made a video at the beginning of this year trying to clear that up for people, because thousands of YouTubers were literally not going to upload videos anymore based on this fine. The amount that you're fined is based on the revenue that your video made. If you mislabel a video and it gets millions of views and you are some sort of big company or you're a big YouTuber with millions of subscribers, then you might get fined $42,000 at the maximum. $42,350 to be exact. If you mislabel a video and the FTC decides that your video is not good and they go after you, if your video makes like $5 of ad revenue, you are going to be fined accordingly to that. So you'd get fined like $1 or like a few cents or something. But obviously you must be thinking that's ridiculous and the FTC won't go after people with that little ad revenue. And you're absolutely right, they won't. They'll be focusing on bigger creators. Another thing, guys, this only affects monetized creators. To be monetized, you have to have 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 hours of watch time, and you have to successfully apply to the YouTube Partnership Program. If you are a partnered creator, meaning you make money off your videos with ad revenue, then you have to worry about these fines. If not, you're fine. If you have less than 1,000 subscribers, you're fine. If you have less than 4,000 hours of watch time, you're fine. Even if you have both, you're still fine as long as you don't apply to the YouTube Partnership Program. Another thing that YouTube specifically specified is if you're not sure if your content is made for kids or not, you should mark that it's not made for kids to be safe, because they'll consider that to be a general audience option. The FTC is a small agency and doesn't employ nearly enough staffers to tackle every COPPA failure that gets uploaded to YouTube. Despite the fact that the possibility of getting fined was still there, no one has gotten fined by the FTC yet for a mislabeled video. I made this video talking about it in the middle of last year and all the information in it still reigns true today. Has anyone been fined by COPPA yet? I don't believe so. I have yet to see a video where people say that they got fined and actually show proof, because saying that you got fined by the FTC is just a quick way to get a lot of views by clickbaiting. So let's all try to find someone who's been fined, and if you have been fined and you're watching this video, reach out to me and we can talk about it. So far, I don't know anyone who has been fined by COPPA yet, which is a good thing. So let's hope it stays that way, like, basically forever. So at this point, everything seemed like it was going to be okay. Yeah, we have to label the audiences for our videos, but at least no one's going to get fined, right? This whole COPPA update seemed like it wasn't as bad as we all thought it was. And it wasn't, for the most part. But then the COPPA mislabeling started happening. You'll be surprised when you see what videos YouTube considers for kids. By the way, it's extremely easy to see what I'm talking about because if you go over here and try to save this to a playlist, it'll say this action is turned off for content made for kids. So you can tell that YouTube themselves have disabled this. But look at what content they consider for kids. A Family Guy clip where they show Charlie Brown. See, this is the issue with allowing a bot to determine what is made for kids and what isn't. I know it's super hard to manually review every single video like this, but look at the mistakes these bots are making. They're considering a Family Guy clip made for kids. If you guys have seen Family Guy, even for like 20 seconds of Family Guy, you would know that Family Guy is not made for kids. I'll do you one better though. How about Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared? A video that went viral like 8 years ago for being, let's just say not made for kids. But YouTube disagrees because I can't save it to my playlist. This action is turned off for content made for kids. So apparently YouTube says this is made for kids. This video is so bad that I can't even play it without getting demonetized. But YouTube says this is made for kids because their bots have determined that, oh, there's like some cartoony figures here, it's a little bit animated, this must be made for kids. This is where the issues of COPPA are going to arise massively because this is crazy. This video is not made for kids. In fact, the video was made to make it seem like it was made for kids, but then to traumatize them later when they actually watch the video. If you look through a lot of the YouTube is over hashtags on Twitter or YouTube is over party, you'll find some ridiculous videos that have been marked as for kids, kind of like Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, Family Guy, among other things. But this is when things get a little bit too far. This murder trial has been marked as for kids. I can't save this to my playlist because this action is turned off for content made for kids, and the comments are turned off as well. So essentially, YouTube's bots are so incompetent that they marked a murder trial as for kids. This is actually crazy now. Like, I don't even know what to say because you can make a little bit of an exception if a YouTube bot makes a mistake by marking a video for kids. If it's like an animation with like a teeny bit of swearing or maybe a little bit of adult humor. But YouTube's COPPA update has gotten to a point where a murder trial is being marked as for kids. Some poor kid is going to run into this video if it pops into their algorithm. Even the parents of kids who think their kids are safe now because of this whole COPPA update, they're going to be running into some murder trials. So I just found something absolutely crazy in the new YouTube COPPA update. This is a normal video that has been mislabeled as made for kids. It's a Family Guy clip of Charlie Brown. I've talked about it before. If you were to watch the video, it's obviously not made for kids. But YouTube disagrees and this content has been marked as made for kids. Take a look at this video. This video is an adult animation called Fritz the Cat. It's a clip from it. It's not made for kids, right? Oh, YouTube's usual mislabeling, right? But it's also age restricted based on community guidelines. So YouTube is saying, okay, look, we automatically agree that the content in this video is not appropriate for younger audiences. But they've also marked it as made for younger audiences. This action is turned off from content made for kids. How can YouTube have such a huge glitch in their system where it's literally making things that counteract each other? So then I thought to myself, why? Why are so many videos getting mislabeled as made for kids when they're not? Are YouTubers being willfully defiant? Or is YouTube themselves just marking all these videos as made for kids because of their automated system? I lean towards the latter because it just didn't make any sense why so many YouTubers would be defiant about this, especially when they could possibly be fined for doing so. So I tried to get answers from YouTube and this is what they told me. Alright everyone, we did it. We finally got YouTube to respond to us with this whole COPPA situation. So I tweeted at Team YouTube on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at DPemer, by the way, shameless plug. But I've been tweeting them every now and then just to see if they'll respond. And I said, hey, why aren't you guys addressing the thousands of inappropriate videos that have been wrongfully marked as made for kids, like this one? And it was the infamous Just Peachy condom commercial. And we finally got a response. And before I read this out, guys, you gotta know that Team YouTube is a bot. Team YouTube sends out thousands of replies like a minute to people who are asking it questions and stuff. So it's not like the answer will be like perfectly personalized to what I asked. So essentially I asked that question and they said creators are required to accurately set their audience as made for kids or not to comply with data privacy laws. We have systems/policies to protect kids/families from inappropriate content. If you think content violates community guidelines, flag here. So immediately you'll notice that they completely missed the point of what I was saying, but I essentially asked them to elaborate on what systems and policies they have in place to protect kids and families because they've never talked about that before. And that's where this follower of mine, shout out to Alex, showed me this tweet in March where YouTube acknowledged the COPPA update. He tweeted at them and said, how is this video in any way kid friendly? And they said, thanks for sending this our way. It seems that the creator hasn't set the audience setting for this specific video, so it was tagged as made for kids by default. Why are you tagging a video as made for kids by default? You should tag a video as not made for kids by default. So it was on that day that we found out that YouTube marks videos as made for kids by default if they don't have an audience setting. That in itself means that millions of videos on this website are marked as made for kids regardless of the context of the video, because you have to remember that YouTube is a 15-year-old website and people have uploaded videos 15 years ago. There are probably thousands if not millions of people who don't even use YouTube anymore, so obviously they weren't able to set the audience for their videos. So all of their videos, regardless of its context, even if it was showing them murdering people, will be marked as made for kids according to YouTube's system. So obviously there are a lot of flaws in this rule, as I believe videos should be marked as not made for kids by default, but that's YouTube's rule and I don't think that we're going to be able to change that. But one thing that we can definitely change is how people were taking advantage of YouTube's COPPA update. I think this is the biggest mislabeling mistake that YouTube's COPPA update has ever made, because there's this entire YouTube channel, this disgusting, disturbing YouTube channel, which is an entire catalog of Teen Titans Go videos, which is a kids show. Except the thumbnails are extremely disgusting and suggestive and definitely not appropriate for kids. Like this one, or this one, or this one. Oh my gosh, man. Usually whenever I see a video mislabeled as made for kids, maybe the YouTuber did it, maybe YouTube themselves did it, and it usually seems to be just a mistake that can be fixed quickly. However, this is literally just malicious. Whoever has this YouTube channel is literally fooling kids, and this is like Elsagate 2.0 basically. I never ever call for channels to be banned, but this one should be banned. This is just absolutely disgusting, to be honest. I'm not even going to play any of the videos just in case there's some sexually suggestive content in it. But the entire channel and all the videos are all marked as made for kids. As you can see, there's no playlist option and no comments. The like to dislike ratio tells you all you need to know. I'm sure people are realizing how disgusting this is. And same thing with this video, and all their videos are like that. I've checked like 99% of them. And this person is literally uploading videos from a kid's show and putting these disgusting thumbnails on it. So these like 9-year-olds are going to see this shit and be confused and then probably get scarred for life. Man, there really isn't much to say on this one. This one is just disgusting. YouTube really should just ban this channel as soon as possible. Luckily, my audience was able to band together and get that channel banned, and it was a good thing that we did on time because that could have caused another Elsagate situation on YouTube. For those of you that don't know what Elsagate is, it was a time on YouTube where people would exploit cartoon characters like Spider-Man and Elsa, make videos where they do extremely inappropriate things and bait kids into watching them because they'll see, oh, Spider-Man or Elsa, that's my favorite character. The kids would then watch the inappropriate videos, get scarred, and it was a huge issue. Parents were then complaining that YouTube was becoming an unsafe environment for kids. Advertisers noticed and they started pulling out of YouTube, which dropped YouTube revenue dramatically for the entire website. So quite literally, a channel like that Cartoons TV channel that I just talked about could harm the entirety of YouTube and all of the YouTubers by taking advantage of YouTube's COPPA update like that. So with all of this in mind, it seemed like YouTube's COPPA update really wasn't as bad as we thought. No one has gotten fined yet. Channels were taking advantage of COPPA, but they were getting quickly banned. And it seemed like the only thing that we really had to worry about was the fact that kids' channels don't have comments anymore and other features like the mini player. There wasn't even a single YouTuber who got their videos taken down because of a COPPA mislabeling. Well, actually, there was one YouTuber that got their video taken down. So a big YouTuber has actually just been hit by COPPA. They've made this anime series for Spongebob, obviously some type of parody content, and YouTube took down their video. YouTube told them that it was because they violated their child safety policy, even though the YouTuber marked the video as not made for kids. This is a bit of a trailer for it. I watched through it. It wasn't that inappropriate, but it definitely wasn't made for kids. There was some blood and stuff. And this YouTuber did mark the trailer and the episode 1 itself, which was a video that got taken down by YouTube as not made for kids. As you can see, their playlist option is available and the comments are too. But here's a message from YouTube saying, "Hi Narmac, our team has reviewed your content and unfortunately we think it violates our child safety policy." Long story short, YouTube is saying we think that you have mislabeled your video, the audience setting for your video. And I think it's pretty easy to see why it has happened. YouTube's automated system probably saw the word SpongeBob in the title. So it was like, okay, regardless of the context of this video is probably being targeted towards kids because SpongeBob is in it, which is obviously a very terrible way for YouTube to evaluate content because look at all the YouTube poops out there. But this actually gave this person's channel an official strike, so now they're going to have some privileges of their channel revoked. And they kept talking about why this bothered them. They said, "Clear intent to target younger minors and families," which was a quote from YouTube. Are you serious? Did someone actually watch that video and think that? Are you going to damn 6 months of my life spent on making something and give me a strike? This is unbelievable. They've said that they appealed it, they've tried to contact bigger YouTubers, and yeah, he showed the audience setting for it itself, and he showed that it is not marked as made for kids. So yeah, COPPA officially strikes. So you know what, when you think about it, it actually is good that they didn't get fined though, because YouTube did say that if you violate the COPPA update, or they feel like you violated the COPPA update, you will be fined according to how much money your video made. So it looks like Narmak isn't getting fined right now, but hopefully they won't be getting fined in the future. But they still did get a strike on their channel, which is a very, very big deal. Typically, you want to go throughout your YouTube career without having any strikes on your YouTube channel, and if you even have one, a lot of your channel privileges will be revoked. I believe you can't live stream anymore, other things like that. But yeah, this channel is all based on parody content for some kids shows. But yeah, this whole Spongebob anime thing seems to have been in the works from this creator for a very, very long time. So it is pretty messed up that YouTube is taking down their months of hard work just because YouTube's bots aren't competent enough to actually tell the difference between parody content and actual content that is being aimed towards children. Yesterday I made a video about a YouTube animator making an animated series of SpongeBob called Spongebob Anime, and YouTube said that he violated COPPA's guidelines of kid-friendly audience settings. Apparently YouTube thought that this video with blood and swearing was made for kids, even though Narmak, the creator, marked it as not made for kids. So they took down the video and gave him a channel strike, but now the channel strike has been removed and the video is back up, so we have some good news for today. Hashtag Save SpongeBob Anime was trending all day yesterday. I even tweeted out the hashtag myself, and I think that YouTube just realized their mistake because so many people told them that this was wrong. Narmak even said 2 days ago that he appealed YouTube's decision, but they didn't get back to him all day. But now, thankfully, the mistake has been fixed, and here it is. This is the SpongeBob Anime. So it did take a massive trending hashtag, but YouTube did finally listen and bring back SpongeBob Anime. So Narmak did seem to be the only creator in this whole COPPA update that actually got their videos taken down because of a mislabeling. But there have been other YouTubers who have been disciplined based on COPPA's mislabelings, one being Caddicarus, who accurately labeled his videos as not made for kids, but YouTube disagreed and changed the rating for him. So a lot of people have been sending me this tweet from this YouTuber named Caddicarus, where they're complaining about Team YouTube marking one of their videos as made for kids when it's obviously not made for kids. The video is called The Horrifying World of PS1 Games for Babies. I gave the video a bit of a watch, and yeah, it's definitely not made for kids. However, against Caddicarus's will, YouTube reviewed the video and determined that it was made for kids based on their policies, and it was very obviously incorrect. So he made a tweet to Team YouTube and said, "Why is this even a feature? Automatic age setting? Why ask me to set it myself then? You clearly haven't reviewed my content, because then you'd see in 2 minutes it's not kid friendly. This is a legal requirement. Have you just endangered my channel?" So I would agree, it is strange that YouTube gives us the option to mark our content and then they end up reversing our decision anyways. But 2 minutes ago, or I guess 5 minutes ago now that this recording's been going for a bit, Team YouTube tweeted it at him and said, "Thanks for reaching out. We've checked the video and confirmed that it's set as not made for kids. Let us know if you have any other issues." So he did tweet this very early in the morning, and the issue did get fixed in about 6 hours. So at least it was a pretty quick fix, but yeah, once again, YouTube just needs to stop making mistakes like this. Their automated systems, as I've been saying for maybe like an entire year now, are very, very bad in terms of marking videos as made for kids or not made for kids. It's really a shame that a YouTuber has to go on Twitter and make some noise for YouTube to listen to them. I had to do the same thing, and I'm a way smaller creator than this guy. But it seems like YouTube only listens when you make a fuss about something, which is a shame because, you would think that the appeal system would actually work. I've filed appeals for things that YouTube has done wrong for my channel too, and they just immediately reject them. I'm gonna assume the same thing happened to this guy, which is why he tweeted this in the first place. But yeah, I did give this guy's video a watch, and it's definitely not made for kids, and thankfully YouTube has reversed their decision to mark it as made for kids. So yeah, this ended up going pretty well. This guy's video did end up getting fixed, but once again, YouTube, please, please, please just fix your automated systems. They are clearly unreliable and they make mistakes all the time. They've made mistakes with my videos, they've made mistakes with this guy's videos, they've made mistakes with thousands of people's videos, maybe even millions, who knows. But yeah, once again, I do have to give YouTube credit for fixing the mistake, but let's be real here, it shouldn't be happening in the first place. So mistakes were definitely being made under the COPPA update. Some people were getting their videos taken down like Narmak, other people were getting their audience settings reversed like Caddicarus. But at the end of the day, the COPPA update really didn't seem to be as bad as we thought, as I stated earlier. But sometimes an update isn't just bad just because of the update itself, but it can also be bad based on what it inspires. You have to remember that COPPA is not a new law. It was enacted in 1998. It's just that YouTube wasn't following it properly, so the FTC had to crack down on YouTube, which is why the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act was being enforced starting in 2020. However, the act has inspired new laws that are being discussed in Congress today, the worst of which being the KIDS Act. Funnily enough, the KIDS Act was also written by Ed Markey, who originally wrote the COPPA law as well. You guys know that I'm not one to be apocalyptic or negative, but if this bill ends up getting passed, YouTube will be screwed. Not just YouTube, all online social media platforms will be screwed. The same guy who wrote the COPPA Act, his name is Ed Markey, just introduced another bill into Congress called the Kids Internet Design and Safety Act, or the Kids Act, which would force platforms to disable core features such as video autoplay, likes or upvotes, push notifications, and anything that they deem to reward young users with badges or other visual art symbols, basically like channel memberships and all that. So you heard that correctly. If a bill like this were to get passed, there would be no more likes or dislikes on videos, no more push notifications, no more video autoplay. You wouldn't be able to support your favorite YouTube channels or even on Twitch with a channel membership or a Twitch subscription. Things like this will absolutely destroy YouTube because YouTubers won't be able to devote time to making content because they can barely make any money. A specific genre is being targeted by this, which is unboxing videos. Channels like Unbox Therapy would be screwed because all their videos would be considered kind of like malicious advertising towards kids. The act would also make it illegal for platforms to recommend literally any kind of branded or sponsored content to users under the age of 16. Note how it's 16 now and not 13. That's what the Kids Act would do. And if you think this is like a one-off article with not much information, there have been multiple articles written about this that have very, very similar things. Basically, Ed Markey is looking to f*** us over, man. Holy crap. So just to clarify, the Kids Act wouldn't ban all of that content, like unbox type of content, but it would be completely prohibited by YouTube from recommending it to children. Obviously, that will affect the viewership of those videos dramatically. But yeah, the main thing that sucks about this is that there's not really much we can do about it at this very moment. We just kind of have to hope that the bill doesn't get passed. Because if you guys think COPPA is bad, this Kids Act will be way, way worse. Because like I said, look at everything that it will disable across the entire platform. And remember, a lot of YouTubers make a chunk of their money from branded or sponsored content, so only allowing them to target users over the age of 16 will impact their income dramatically. Like I've said before, the lack of money will give YouTubers less of an incentive to make YouTube videos, and they might quit altogether. This article also has a theory that YouTube may not be able to tell which users are 16 or younger. And that's a completely different issue within itself, because that means it could be forced to stop recommending and/or showing all sponsored content, influencer marketing, and unboxing videos to everyone. Yeah, like I said, I always try to see the positive in every situation, but this is not looking good for us. But yeah, it's just good to be informed, and we should know that a bill like this should not be getting passed, or at least it needs to be altered dramatically, because you can't just take this stuff away from YouTube. Things like autoplay, likes, and upvotes and stuff, that's what makes YouTube great. I want to see the ratings of a video. I want to see what the community thinks about a video. I want to see what the community thinks about my videos. Whether you leave a like or a dislike, I want to know what you thought about the video, the points I made, or whatever. But if I can't see that just because of this act, that is going to be really annoying. And things like this usually have a snowball effect. What's next? Comments? I don't know what's next. I'm very, very worried about the future of YouTube, Twitch, and every other platform. But at this very moment, I just wanted to keep you guys informed. Let's hope that this bill does not get passed. Alright, so I actually found the Twitter of the guy who wrote the Kids Act and the COPPA Act, and he was actually talking about the Kids Act in this long thread here, and we're going to go over it and see what you guys think. By the way, the guy obviously got a lot of backlash on his tweets, but his main point is always that he doesn't want children to be manipulated by dangerous features on websites, especially like inappropriate advertisement. So that's why he's creating these acts and these bills, such as the Kids Act. So I'm not going to go over every single point he makes, but he's basically saying that a lot of the stuff that people will see on websites like YouTube are inappropriate for children, and it kind of like manipulates them. But the only problem is he doesn't really understand what inappropriate advertisement is, especially when he's talking about unboxing videos for kids. Using the argument that children don't have the cognitive skills to determine that these videos are ads. They also don't really have the cognitive skills to know that their cartoons are fake or that Santa Claus isn't real, but you can't just start restricting every single thing on the internet just because of that. If you want to stop advertisements where they say, hey kids, buy this toy and you'll get $15 million, then I'm all for that. But saying that we need to ban all product placement and unboxing videos for kids, I just completely disagree with that. That will be extremely detrimental to unboxing videos on YouTube, especially when a lot of them for kids are just trying to show a cool product. Once again, if people are taking advantage of this stuff, it's fine to get rid of them. But once again, trying to censor content on YouTube is just not cool. Also, parents should be responsible for what content their kids consume on YouTube. They should be monitoring their kids' content. That is their job as a parent. Content creators should not have to babysit children on the internet. I really cannot stress that enough. But anyways, here are some of the replies. This bill will destroy the livelihoods of countless people, and it is a horrible idea. Don't make creators responsible for what kids watch on YouTube. That's what parents are for. If they're too lazy to use parental guidance tools that are at their disposal, then that's on them. I completely agree with that point. That's pretty much the point I was just making. We aren't being bombarded with online ads. We are being bombarded by out-of-touch politicians trying to regulate something that they don't understand with rules that aren't needed. It's a bit harsh, but I would also agree with that as well. I mean, in a nutshell, this is the main point. Can you stop trying to take away being a parent? It should be parents' job, like I said, to regulate the content that their kids consume. And that isn't just on YouTube, that should be everywhere. Like, in essence, what he's saying is correct. To make sure children aren't being manipulated by dangerous features online. I completely agree with that. That shouldn't be happening. But the problem is when you consider an unboxing video to be dangerous or manipulative content, throwing that diction out there will make pretty much everything dangerous or manipulative content. If you want to argue that some unboxing videos are manipulative towards children, then I would agree with that, but not all of them are, so don't punish all of them. His last thought to end this thread was, by the age of 12, more than 2/3 of kids have their own smartphone and more than twice as many young people watch videos every day than did in 2015. It's time to get serious about protecting children online. But that should be their parents' job. I don't want to keep saying the same point over and over again, but that's pretty much what it is. So when it comes to the Kids Act, I haven't heard anything about it recently, and all of the traction and backlash that it got on Twitter has all died down, so I'm not really sure how the progress on the Kids Act is going. I don't know if the law has been rejected or whatever. But with the way that the law is written, I would hope that it doesn't get passed because it just seems like COPPA 2.0. But even worse, as it would affect the entire website, it would get rid of likes and dislikes across the entire website, as well as on other platforms. But one silver lining with COPPA is YouTube Kids and the fact that kids actually can't see adult videos on YouTube Kids, even if they've been marked as made for kids. As I've talked about in this documentary and in some videos I'm about to show, there were many adult videos that were getting marked as made for kids, negligibly by YouTube's automated system, of course, but they were still not visible on YouTube Kids despite being marked as made for kids. Alright, so obviously since January, a bunch of inappropriate videos have been getting marked as made for kids like this one. As you can see, the comments are turned off and it says this action is turned off for content made for kids. I won't show the actual thing, but if you look at the preview, you can see that it shows a bunch of naked people. Clips from an adult show called The Boondocks are also marked as made for kids. Something called Violence for the Sake of Violence, and you can literally see a bunch of blood there. Or even something like this, which I won't show for too long. But I actually want to see if these videos are visible in the YouTube Kids app. Maybe it's different on the phone. Maybe you guys can let me know by checking it out yourself. But I'll try the website version. So I'm going to say I'm a kid, and it's going to say ask a parent to set up YouTube Kids. So I'm going to say I'm a parent, go through all this. I was born in 1928 or something, I don't know. We're gonna skip this. No, I don't want to add that account. So we're just gonna say I agree, whatever. So this is where it might be different. So I'll probably show all three of the results, but right now we'll start with the youngest age. So let's go to preschool. Whatever, it'll say content recommended. So do we want to turn search off or on? We want it on. Now it's gonna give us a tour or whatever, but I'm just gonna try to search up those videos that we've seen. So you would think that since these videos are marked as made for kids, you would see them on the YouTube Kids app. But if I search up the exact title of this video, it actually won't show up. Even if I were to copy and paste a link of it like this, it still won't show up. Let's try the Boondocks clip. So if we go over here, try to search this up, boom. All right, we'll do another one, Violence for the Sake of Violence, try to search it up. We do get 3 videos on this search, but it wasn't the video that we were looking for. And these all look like pretty appropriate kids videos for me. Let's go look at the racism from Teen Titans thing. You know, it has a buzzword in it that'll usually get you demonetized. Also not here. So obviously I'm very happy that the kids can't access those videos by searching them up or whatever, but then I'm trying to understand what the point is of marking these videos as made for kids. Obviously I've already said this a million times, but YouTube has already told us that they mark videos without an audience setting as made for kids by default. And we've all agreed that that's dumb of them and they shouldn't be doing that, but those videos don't seem to show up on the YouTube Kids app anyways. So this is actually a very good thing. The kids that go on the YouTube Kids app shouldn't be able to see these inappropriate videos that are getting falsely marked as made for kids. So I'm going to try it again for both of these options, but I'm only going to search up one video to save up time. So we'll search up the Boondocks clip, Not All Women Are Hoes, and we get a video of ways to say you're welcome. So yeah, I'm very glad these videos aren't showing up on YouTube Kids, but wow, the search results that you get are very inaccurate. One more time, we'll try it for kids that are ages 8 to 12, and we'll see if we can find those videos. So we'll look up the big mouth clip over here, so copy and paste that, and let's see what we get. Nothing. So yeah, like I said, it's a good thing that the kids can't actually find these videos on the YouTube Kids app, but the problem is they could still find them on the actual YouTube website because obviously not everyone uses the YouTube Kids app. So if you do have kids and you're concerned about them finding inappropriate videos, you should definitely be on the YouTube Kids app. Another positive thing that's happened since YouTube's COPPA update is YouTube fixing their mistakes. Throughout this whole documentary, we've talked about YouTube mislabeling videos, but all throughout the year, YouTube has been going back and fixing the audience setting for those videos, one of those being Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, another being a YouTube series called Scientifically Accurate. Although we all agree that YouTube's automated systems shouldn't be making mistakes this big in the first place, at least they're fixing them upon realizing. So it looks like YouTube is actually fixing some of the mistakes they made throughout this whole COPPA update. As I've gone over in previous videos, some very questionable content like "Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared" was marked as made for kids by YouTube, so the comments were gone, you couldn't add them to a playlist. But as you can see with "Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared" right now, the playlist option is available, the comments are available, so this video has not been marked as made for kids anymore. Now less kids will find this video, think it's an episode of Sesame Street, and get traumatized. Another very adult video that got marked as made for kids was Cupcakes HD. As you can see, playlist option is there and all the comments are available. Actually, the top comment right here says, "Remember when YouTube marked this for kids? Dang, their system sucks." Yeah, even people in the comments are acknowledging that YouTube's system is completely failing in terms of auto-labeling videos. However, there are still a lot of videos that are marked as made for kids which shouldn't be, such as the Sonic the Hedgehog trailer, which, as I've discussed in the past, has some adult jokes in it, and this Family Guy clip where Peter Griffin beats the crap out of a child. So the system is obviously not perfect yet, and they're still making some very clear mistakes. It's a slow process, but at least some of these videos are getting fixed. Obviously, COPPA is still a huge problem in terms of the YouTube algorithm. I'll go over this in a separate video, but one thing that you need to notice about all the videos I pointed out is that they're all animated content. So it's pretty obvious to see that most animated content on this website is prone to being marked as made for kids, which makes animated content on YouTube as a whole very vulnerable to demonetization and limiting of comments and stuff like that. So a while back I made a video about a YouTube series called Scientifically Accurate being marked as made for kids. It basically just takes a bunch of kids shows or movies and makes them scientifically accurate, which typically involves a lot of violence, swearing, and it's basically just a funny type of parody. And like the vast majority of the series got marked as made for kids. But after checking now, it seems like YouTube has fixed most of their mistakes. As you can see for this video, the playlist option is enabled and all the comments are enabled. Same thing with this Pokemon video, all the comments are enabled and it's not marked as made for kids. Same thing with the Spider-Man one, you get the idea. They all used to be marked as made for kids, but they aren't anymore. So honestly, I am going to have to give YouTube props. At least they are fixing their mistakes, at least they are taking a look at some of the videos they've marked as made for kids and realized, yeah, I think we made a mistake. I mean, they did the same thing with the Spongebob Anime video that I talked about in my last video. So good on YouTube for fixing some of their mistakes, because the last thing I would want kids to see is something like this. But still, I do have to mention that some of these videos are still marked as made for kids. As you can see, it says this action is turned off for content made for kids, and the comments are turned off. But what's interesting about this specific video is there used to be a Try YouTube Kids app advertisement here, and that has now since disappeared, so I'm not sure exactly what that's supposed to mean. But still, the problem is that this video is being marked as made for kids, and there is still some kid-friendly stuff that's being recommended in the sidebar, like Fairly Odd Parents and SpongeBob. So yeah, according to YouTube's own words, this video is more likely to be recommended to children than other videos, since it's marked as made for kids. So yeah, YouTube hasn't fixed everything, but at least we can see that they fixed a lot of their errors. Let's hope that they just keep fixing these. And that's pretty much it. That is the COPPA documentary. I spent a very long time researching this. I've been planning on making this documentary for a very long time, so any support that could be given for this video would be greatly appreciated. All the likes, comments, shares, it would really mean a lot. COPPA was the biggest issue that YouTube has ever faced, and it's definitely the biggest update in YouTube's history, as I said in the start of this video. So to know that it didn't go as badly as we thought is a great thing. Yeah, there are some things that are irreversible. Kids channels won't have comments anymore, they won't have the mini player, you can't add them to a playlist, stuff like that. A lot of kids channels had to alter their content to try to make money again, and COPPA has had a huge impact on this website. But that doesn't change the fact that we're all still able to do what we love to do. That's make content and watch videos, and I'll forever be grateful for that. I'll be grateful that I can sit here and have this conversation with you guys over the internet right now. If we've learned anything over this past year, it's that we shouldn't take anything for granted and we should be appreciative for everything that we have, and that principle applies to YouTube as well. Despite some of the negative impacts that COPPA has had on this website, I'm still grateful that YouTube is still YouTube, and we're all still here as a community to make content and watch content that we love. That being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more. See ya.